As you're trying to improve your golf game, it's very, very important to understand that it is a process. So getting better at your golf game is a process. It's not a singular event. So when people come see us at B Golf, it's important to know that there's a process at play, and we'd like you to know what that is. So this is our performance improvement process. Then talk first about the performance improvement process and where do we start with everybody that comes through the door?
Yeah, so where we start with everybody that's going to come through the door is the motion, right? We're trying to get everybody to swing freely, where they're not trying to do something with the ball. They're not trying to hit it. They're not trying to steer or guide it. They're not attached to the outcome. So the first order of business is we have to get the player freed up so they can actually start playing their best golf and make sure that the ball is actually in the middle of motion. They're not trying to do anything specific with it.
Very good. So we call it the free swinging motion. That's the starting and ending point for our performance improvement process. It's very, very important for you to know that most people spend more time figuring out how to swing the club than actually swinging the club, and then they wonder why it's not working.
Yeah.
And then a lot of common golf instruction focuses on parts and pieces of the swing, which gets people's attention away from actually swinging the club.
That is true.
So if this were a business, the free swinging motion, the swinging motion would be sales and marketing. We got to start now. The assumption is, a lot in the golf culture, is that if people have the right swing, that the ball will do exactly what they want it to do and they won't have to worry about it anymore.
That is true.
So we have found nothing could be further from the truth. So the first step is
free swinging motion. You got it.
And then once we get people swinging, then where do we go?
Then you have to learn to start developing skills. So an example of the skills that are required to be a great ball striker would be you have to get the divot in the appropriate place, you have to hit the center of the club face, and then you have to have a healthy club face, club path relationship. So the second step of this PIP process is going to be making sure that you become skillful. So divot, center face, club path. Now, how you ultimately control those is going to be personal to you.
Yes.
So the cool thing about this is you're going to come up with your own solutions on how to get more skillful at each of those variables.
Very good. So golf ultimately is what the ball does. So you're going to have to learn to get your ball to go more left or more right, higher or lower, longer or shorter. So ultimately controlling what that ball does is going to be a function of what your score does, yeah? Mm-hmm. So we start with swinging.
Yep.
And then we get
skill development.
Skills. So we got to get the ball to do this or that. And then once you do that, then where do we go?
The procedure. So you have to have some type of routine when you're out there. So for us, we have 3 very basic steps that you're going to follow. What are you going to do behind the ball? So you have to get clear on what you want the ball to do. Mm-hmm. You have to get clear on what one thing you're going to do through the motion.
Call that being prepared, yeah?
Yep. And then the second piece is going to be silent. So once you're over the golf ball, it's very, very important that you start to quiet down the mind. And then the third phase of that is going to be committed. So be committed. Can you keep your attention on your one thing all the way through the motion while being detached from the result? So it's a process or a procedure that you can follow out on the golf course in order to access your best game.
Yeah. So it's very, very important. So a lot of folks, if we took a poll and we asked 10 players, how much of the game is mental? Everybody says it's a lot. So some people say 60 or 80 or 90. Who knows? We don't know what the number is, but we know it's a lot. So in our performance improvement process, we think the swinging motion is very, very important. That's where we start. Getting the ball to do something, what you want it to do, is exceptionally important. And then understanding you have to put your training back into a procedure or process, the mental game, if you will, is where the rubber meets the road, yes?
Yeah, most definitely. And it's pretty cool. So if you come train with us at B Golf, you know, we're constantly working through all 3 of those areas. So we're trying to make sure that people are basically interleaving these skills, and you're spending 3 to 5 minutes at each one of those tasks. So spend a little time on the free swinging motion, then you're doing some skill development, then you're working procedure, and you just keep on working around that circle over and over and over until you get what it is you're looking for.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if we're talking about your driver. Some folks need help with their driver. Some folks need help with their chipper. So whatever club we're talking about, it's important for you to understand that we're working through this performance improvement process so you can take whatever you're training and make it actionable or practical and effective on the golf course.
You got it.
Okay, so no matter what we do, as we move through this book, we're going to explain more of the underpinnings of this process. We talked previously about our coaching model with you at the center of it, the what, why, how model. And ultimately, that's how we're going to frame this thing so you can make sure that the solutions that you come up with for yourself are practical and you can put them in play on the golf course. So we hope this helps you, and we look forward to diving in with you more as we continue.